The Bajau people have long lived on the waters of Southeast Asia, where they've evolved into sea-dwelling beings with bodies like no other humans on planet Earth. They live on the waters of Southeast Asia, dwelling in boats and living off the sea with hardly even a homeland that they call their own. They have little sense of time and age, hardly any clocks, calendars, birthdays, and the like for them. And they've even evolved for life on the sea, with internal organs and body capabilities unlike our own. The Bajau have long been nomadic, seafaring people, with origins in southern Philippines. For centuries, they have long lived off the sea, although that number is slowly decreasing. Today, many still live in the middle of the ocean, off the coasts of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Most are not recognized by any state. Having no citizenship and therefore no formal rights to settle on the mainland, they continue to gather in offshore communities, some in tiny islands, to sustain their maritime hunting skills which have been handed down for generations. Unfortunately, being stateless also means government privileges, like children having access to public schools or adults finding formal jobs, are non-existent. Bajau describes all closely related indigenous people who define themselves either as land Bajau or as sea Bajau. They have also been called sea gypsies, sea hunters or sea nomads, although the correct term would simply be natives. Land Bajau usually live in their marine homes which they've crafted all from scratch, and they only engage for bartering purposes with the sea Bajau who are seafaring the shallow waters with their lepa-lepa boats. In contrast to the sparse interior fittings of the stilt houses, the lepa-lepa boats allow even less space to shelter necessities such as fishing and cooking gear. Thus, each of the up to 5 family members who crowd a lepa-lepa has only one outfit and very few other belongings. Making their living primarily off of fishing, the Bajau people live on long houseboats known as lepas. Residing primarily on the waters off Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, they usually come ashore to trade or seek shelter during storms. When they do live not on boats, it's typically in small dwellings built on stilts over the water. Because the Bajau are exposed to the water so often and so early in life, they develop a mastery of the ocean that's hard to match. Children learn to swim young and begin fishing and hunting as early as 8 years old. As a result, most of the Bajau are expert freedivers. They are able to dive down to depths more than 230 feet, can stay submerged 60 feet underwater for several minutes, and usually spend a total of around 5 hours a day underwater. Spontaneously, the families disembark to trade their surplus seafood, mainly fish, lobster, and sea cucumber, to nearby islanders. In return, they will stock up on essential bits and pieces, collect water, or buy cassava to prepare the typical dish called kasaba pangjikayu. At dusk, everyone returns to the houseboat where communal cooking takes place. The Bajau have preserved their artisan skills well. A self-taught carpenter quickly designs a fishing boat in about a week without a sketch. These methods have been passed on from generation to generation. It's in our genes, explains Nalu, a local Bajau who came over from the Philippines some 28 years ago. The charming wooden stilt huts which could host a variety of groups, from a family of 5 to a community with up to 30 roommates, are completed through teamwork within 3 weeks. They even produce an everyday sunscreen. Borakbu is based on rice powder which the females use to protect their skin from the beating sun rays. Primarily unmarried women use it a lot, with the hope that their skin stays smooth and therefore attract a potential spouse. The Bajau are also known as among the world's best freedivers, relying on this skill to hunt and feed themselves. They have evolved to have bigger spleens, and can stay underwater for up to 13 minutes at depths of 200 feet. This also makes their food unique. While many sea animals would never make it on fine dining tables, the Bajau eat various sea creatures. Sea cucumbers, for instance, are a valuable protein boost for the Bajau, can be used as a medical treatment for diabetes and cancer, and even as an aphrodisiac.